So last night in Parliament, Remain MPs, which is basically the majority of MPs in Parliament at the moment, voted to take control of the parliamentary timetable in an attempt to block Brexit. But don't panic just yet, because one, there is still time, and two, they're just making things difficult for themselves. And as of the exact time of the release of this video, which should be 6 p.m. Wednesday the 4th of September, we're still waiting to see the next steps, because tonight MPs are now voting to block no-deal Brexit because they have control over the parliamentary timetable. But as we said, it's not the end, because there are more plans that the government has. But let's talk about last night and what's been happening in Parliament, because this Parliament is not pro-people. In fact, this Parliament is completely anti-people. For a long time, opposition parties, especially the Labour Party, have been going around asking and begging the government to call an election for some reason. But after what happened last night, after the vote, Boris Johnson said, well, you're trying to block the way, so I am calling an election. And then they all kicked off. How dare you call an election? Okay. And it was the leader of the House, Jacob Rees-Mogg, who showed their true hypocrisy.
The approach taken today is the most unconstitutional use of this House since the days of Charles Stuart Parnell, when he tried to bung up Parliament. Usurping the executive's right is unconstitutional. The abuse of emergency debates to do so is unconstitutional, and the bill itself is yet more unconstitutional. A.V. Dicey said all conventions have one ultimate object: to secure that Parliament or the Cabinet shall in the long run give effect to the will of the people. These conventions are being disregarded today, and so by extension is the will of the nation. Parliament sets itself against the people. Sovereignty comes from the people to Parliament. It does not come to Parliament out of a void. If Parliament tries to challenge the people, this stretches the elastic of our Constitution near to breaking point. We should recognise that the people are our masters and show us to be their lieges and servants, not to place ourselves in the position of their overlords. As we come to vote today, I hope all members, Mr. Speaker, will contemplate the current constitutional confusion and consider the chaos this concatenation of circumstances could create.
Yes, the people are the true masters. Politicians must be servants, not rulers. Also, the irony of some Remainers, such as John Major, who have been working hard and campaigning to make it even more difficult for Boris Johnson to even negotiate with the European Union, is this. Who said this a long time ago when he was Prime Minister?
Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, like me or loathe me, don't bind my hands when I am negotiating on behalf of the British nation.
But it's not just the Tory Remainers. The SNP MPs, instantly after the vote last night, stood up and defended the Westminster Parliament and its sovereignty against the will of the people. The same SNP that have been for decades and decades criticising the Westminster Parliament, saying, no, we don't want the Westminster Parliament to have too much power. Right. But my main message to the Tory Remain MPs, well, former MPs now because they've lost their whip and they're not part of their party anymore, is this. Thank you. Thank you for making it easier for us to make the Conservative Party conservative again. You made it a lot easier for us to get rid of you. And no, it has nothing to do with being a broad church or voting against specific policies against your own government. That's always going to be open in a democratic country and within our party system. We will remain a broad church party. But when you work with the opposition against your own government and against your own party leader, especially on an issue like this, which we know that the majority of the people in the country are on the side of the government, this is the red line. Rules are rules.
Well, my whip contacted me about an hour before the vote today. I think it was calculated to put maximum pressure on us, because I found out other colleagues had been contacted around the same time to say, well, the Prime Minister is serious, and if you vote against, you would have the whip withdrawn. Of course, no, I can't remember the last leader of any major political party who decided to get rid of this many MPs in one go when they don't even have a majority in the House of Commons. But obviously Boris Johnson thought it was the smart thing to do tonight, and we had all decided that we'll put our personal interest behind, we'll put the national interest ahead of our personal interest, so it didn't worry us at all. So coming in here this evening, it looks like they've also disabled our passes.
Okay, that's
which is a hostile act. Yeah,
the Conservative passes or the parliamentary passes. Oh, okay, well we'll look into that tomorrow.
Hostile act, really? I just hope Sam Gyimah calms down at some point because I'm worried about his health. But I must say, I am loving the Boris government's efficiency and the no-nonsense method in dealing with these people. So, well done. But the way things are looking is that the Remain MPs might win the vote tonight again, which means a potential general election might be called. But again, they have to also vote for the election. So let's see how that goes. But if it comes, this is a very, very simple and pure election based on Brexit. And this is why I'm hoping that the Brexit Party and Nigel Farage, who have actually quite helped so far by putting pressure on the Conservative Party to replace Theresa May with Boris Johnson, the best way to do this is for the Brexit Party not to interfere in certain seats where it's a Conservative seat and obviously a Leave Conservative seat where we need these MPs to win against Labour. And if the Brexit Party wants to put up candidates anywhere, it's probably best to focus on obviously Northern Labour Leave seats. And this is the best way we could actually get a good majority of Conservative and even potentially some Brexit Party MPs. But when it comes to this election, it's quite simple. This is an election between the people and Parliament. And that's why let's hear the last words from Susan from Yorkshire.
Susan, tell us why you're here outside Westminster today.
I came down from Yorkshire because I voted Leave, as most of the country did, and I am disgusted that Parliament is not implementing our decision, and furthermore it's actually trying to wreck our decision to leave the EU. These people in here are paid by us, they're employed by us to implement democracy, and they're betraying democracy with everything that they do. It's completely and absolutely unacceptable.
You'd be happy with a no-deal Brexit, would you?
I wouldn't have been. I wanted a free trade agreement. But that lot have sabotaged any attempt to have a deal, and they're doing it now. They're trying to take no deal off the table, and they're trying to hand over Brexit to the EU to run because they don't want us to leave. So yes, now I want to go without a deal. I never thought I'd say that, but yes I do. I want to go without a deal. I want out, fully out, completely and totally.
What about a general election? What are your thoughts on that?
It'd be great, because most of those people in there stood and said they respected the result of the referendum and they would implement our decision, and they've lied to us. So now we need to kick them out and put in people who do respect democracy, because they don't.
And I absolutely agree with Susan. So let's look forward to the election, hopefully, and bring it on, Jeremy Corbyn. It's going to be fun. The next few days are going to be quite hectic, and we're going to have a lot of misinformation going around on social media and mainstream media, unfortunately. So I'm going to try and get all the facts together, and obviously I'm a Brexiteer, so I'm going to be reporting it from a more Brexit perspective, but I'll try my best as usual to be balanced. So if you want to catch up, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell next to it so you actually get notified when the videos come out at 6 p.m. every night. And if you want to follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, you could find them down here. And if you want to support the channel, you can become a member of the Cabinet Club. The link will be in the description as always. And have a great evening. Let's hope for a Brexit victory. I'll see you tomorrow with a new video.